Hey everyone, welcome to Real Life Stories. I'm Catherine.
And I'm Oliver. What's up, everyone? Hope you're doing well, wherever you're listening from.
Yeah, maybe you're commuting, maybe you're just hanging out at home, or maybe you're pretending to study English.
Hey, we've all been there.
Today's episode is called The Day Everything Went Wrong.
Oh yeah, we've all had one of those days.
You wake up and think everything's going to work out, and then somehow it all just falls apart.
Exactly, like one small thing messes up and suddenly the whole day goes downhill.
So today we're going to share some personal stories, and along the way you'll hear a lot of phrasal verbs that native speakers use in everyday life.
Yep, real English, the kind people actually use when they're talking to friends.
Okay, so let me start with my story. This happened a couple of years ago, and honestly, it started out like a perfectly normal day. I woke up early because I had an important job interview.
Oh wow, already stressful.
Right? So I woke up around 6 a.m., got ready, made coffee. Everything was going smoothly. I remember thinking, okay, today might actually work out.
Famous last words.
Exactly. So I leave my apartment, I head out to the bus stop, and suddenly I realize something.
Oh.
I forgot my phone.
No way.
Yeah, I left it at home. And I was like, should I go back and pick it up? But the interview was in like an hour.
So you had to figure out what to do quickly.
Exactly. I was trying to figure it out while standing at the bus stop. Finally, I thought, okay, it's fine. I'll survive without my phone.
Bold decision.
Yeah, it turned out to be a terrible decision. So I get on the bus, and about 10 minutes later, the bus breaks down.
You're kidding.
Nope. Completely broke down in the middle of the road. The driver tells everyone to get off and wait for another bus.
Oh man, at that point I would start to freak out.
Oh, I did. I was definitely freaking out. Because now I'm thinking I'm going to be late for this interview. And remember, I didn't have my phone, so I couldn't even call them.
That's rough.
So I jump off the bus and start walking, trying to figure out another way to get there. And then, this is the worst part, I realize I might be lost.
Wait, how do you get lost going to an interview?
Because normally I follow Google Maps. Without my phone, I had to figure things out on my own. So I'm walking down the street, totally stressed out, and then something surprising happens. I run into an old friend from college.
No way, that's crazy.
I know. I hadn't seen him in like 5 years. And he's like, Catherine, is that you?
That's such a classic phrase, run into someone. It means meeting someone unexpectedly.
Exactly. So we start catching up for a minute, and I quickly explain my situation. And guess what?
Please tell me he had a car.
He did. He offered to help me out and drive me to the interview.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. So we jump in his car, and for a moment I think, okay, maybe this day will actually work out.
Let me guess, something else went wrong.
Of course it did. We're driving, everything seems fine, and suddenly traffic backs up.
Ah, traffic, the ultimate villain.
Exactly. Cars everywhere, not moving, and I'm sitting there like, are you serious right now?
At that point, you just have to laugh.
Yeah, honestly, I started laughing because the whole situation was just ridiculous. So, long story short, I ended up arriving 20 minutes late to the interview. I walked in and explained everything that happened, and the interviewer just looked at me and said,
Oh no.
honestly, that sounds like a terrible morning.
At least they understood.
Yeah, they were actually really nice about it. And here's the funny part, I didn't get the job.
Oh no.
But a week later, they called me about a different position in the company.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah, and that job actually turned out to be better.
See, sometimes things work out in the end. Okay, that reminds me of a day when everything went wrong for me too.
Oh, good. I feel better already.
So this happened when I was traveling. I was supposed to meet a friend and hang out in another city. Everything was planned. Train ticket booked, hotel ready.
Sounds organized.
Yeah, except I completely messed up the schedule. I showed up at the train station and realized the train had already left.
You missed it.
Yep, I was standing there thinking, how did I screw this up?
Classic mistake.
So I had to figure out another way to get there. I ended up taking 3 different buses and it took like 8 hours.
That sounds exhausting.
It was. But the funny thing is, that trip actually turned out to be one of my favorite trips ever.
See? Another example of things working out. You know, I think everyone has days where everything seems to fall apart.
Yeah, but those are often the stories we remember the most.
Exactly, and they're great stories to tell when you're learning English.
Because storytelling helps you practice real conversation. You can use phrasal verbs like figure out, run into, work out, mess up, help out.
And when you tell stories, you start sounding more natural, more like a native speaker.
All right, everyone, that's today's episode of Real Life Stories.
Now, we want to hear from you. Think about a time when everything went wrong.
Maybe you missed a flight, messed up an exam, or got lost somewhere.
Try telling that story in English, even if it's just speaking out loud to yourself.
And if you enjoyed this episode, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more videos like this.
We share real conversations, useful expressions, and everyday English.
Thanks for hanging out with us today.
See you in the next episode of Real Life Stories.
Take care, everyone. Bye.
Bye!